What's up, guys? It's Philly215 here, and today we are back with Splinter Cell Mission 4 on Perfectionist difficulty. Okay, so you're going to start the mission off on the roof right there. You can just run right down here. You don't have to worry about anything. I actually ended up muting the game right here just because there's like some Christmas Carol music in this lobby here. I didn't know if it was copyrighted or not, so I just muted it. Okay, so run right along here. You don't have to worry about anybody hearing you just yet. Okay, so take this zip line right to this platform right here, and then you could go ahead and slide down this ladder. Still not dealing with any problems just yet. Go into crouch mode, and then you can hop right over on the corner part of this fence. Still not dealing with any problems. Move right along in the fashion that I'm doing, and then take the right side right here, and then you could go through the snowman hallway. Okay, so once you come out of this, I would just say to hang tight for a little bit, because this guy's going to be staring at the bomb placed on the door here for a second. But once he turns his back, then you could go ahead and hop the other white fence right to the left of him there. I actually ended up speeding it up here just because these guys up here talk forever. Like, it's so annoying. So I'm speeding it up right here. They're just chit-chatting away. It's seriously, you're going to have patience to take these guys out. Okay, so this guy finally ends up turning his back after forever here. And you're going to want to hop over this carnival type of setup here. I don't know, whatever you'd like to call it, enclosure. Okay, so I was going to take him out right here, but then I realized there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of people moving around. This guy's looking at me to the right here. So I ended up moving back, letting him move under this, carnival setup, tarp here, whatever. Okay, so he ends up coming real close, but not close enough for me to grab him. So I actually end up coming in back of him and knocking him out with the other guy right there, but he didn't notice or hear a thing. Just be careful for that guy. I ended up picking this guy up, throwing him in the bin here to hide him a little bit better, just so he doesn't get noticed. I actually ended up speeding it up here again too, because usually a guy ends up walking out of that door, but he didn't do it this time. I see him on the map though, so if this ends up happening to you and he doesn't walk out that door towards you, just wait for him on your mini-map, and once he walks by you and the coast is clear, you're good to go. My guy was retarded, and I opened the left door and he opened the right door as well. I don't understand. An epic fail to turn off the lights, as you can see right there. Okay, so the audio's back on because there's no more Christmas Carol music. Go through this vent right here and drop out. There's going to be two guys that are going to be engaging in a conversation here. I would suggest to equip your sleep grenades, sleep smoke, whatever you'd like to call it. As I do right here, sleeping gas. Okay, so I throw it, I knock these two dudes out right there, don't have to worry about them. Go through the vent, and I sped this part up as well because there's a guy that just blindly stares off into space while looking at this vent here. Okay, so I'm speeding it up, he's just acting a fool. And after a little bit, he ends up actually turning around. You don't have to take this guy out because then he ends up just blindly staring at another object. Okay, so sneak right on by here. I know that wall's very interesting for him. Okay, climb into the vent. And now we're going to go on to our next section of this map. Okay, so I end up actually speeding it up here as well. Just because if you die, two different things happen. Like, people stand in a different place, but it's only two different ways. The first way was two people would actually stand where I was going to throw that sleeping gas grenade, but they didn't end up doing it. This guy ended up walking away, so I moved around a lot. I was going to move around the right side here, but then there was a guy, and I wasn't familiar with this way, but once that guy gets into position right there, move along the right side. You're pretty much good to go when he's standing exactly like how he is right now. Once he has his back turned to you, you're pretty much good to go again. So I sneak right on by here. Bunch of hostages there. Don't worry about the hostages because the SWAT team actually ends up coming in the end when you get the code for the bomb, and they end up rescuing the hostages. I think it's kind of funny here because this guy's saying nobody act like a hero. You know what happens to heroes? They end up dying, and I have a non-lethal takedown. I only knock him out, but you could end up killing him if you want to have a nice little cliche there. Okay, so once this guy turns back around to go back into position that he was in the first place, you could slide down this ladder here and go into the next segment. I think this area goes pretty fast when you do it the way that I do it. Come over here to your left, do a nice little rope-a-dope to this guy, fucking knock him out, keep on moving. Come right along this pipeline right here, stay behind these barrels. Once this guy up here turns his back, you're good to go. Move right along under this passageway. Now, the guy that I'm waiting for is actually a target that you have to bag and tag if you haven't done it already. But since I've already done it, it doesn't give me the option to bag and tag him, so I ended up knocking him out. As you can see him on the radar, slowly walking towards my position. Actually, he's not really doing much right now, but he ends up walking towards me. Okay, there he goes. So I pan my camera over to the side here to watch him come through the doorway. There he is. Okay, so once he comes up, he doesn't actually come close enough for you to grab him, so press the select button on your Xbox controller and you will whistle, and he'll come a little bit closer, right where you can end up grabbing him, and if you haven't bagged him and tagged him yet, it'll give you the option to do that. But since I already did it, I just knocked him out. This other guy's going to be like, hey, where did my friend go? He's going to end up coming through that doorway as well. You want to be extremely careful, though, because a heavily armed guard walks back and through that passageway there. I end up actually knocking this guy out just before the heavily armed guard had seen me do it, and he didn't even end up seeing the body. He just walks right on by. Okay, so you want to try and be quick here because somebody almost spotted me again, but that happens a lot, so don't worry about it. Slide on down here. That will engage a cutscene. After the cutscene, you will end up being right here. This is where your guy will be. Run right along here, climb up the ladder. Sam Fisher was his name. I kept trying to think of the character's name, Sam Fisher. Okay, so come out of this door. Once out of this door, go into crouch mode. There's going to be like little camera bots that are moving around. Just look out for them. As long as they're not facing you, you'll be fine. Climb up here. I ended up speeding it up again right up here, because all you have to do is slowly crouch walk along here. So once you come over to this lighted area, you want to just hang out for a little bit. There's actually a guy under you, but don't take any action until this little bot comes along and the guy that you don't even really notice starts walking. Once he starts walking with the bot, you can then come down and knock this guy unconscious. Once he's unconscious, pick up his body, because people do patrol all the way up to where his body is. So just move it out of sight. Once you drop it right there, you should be good. Okay, so I speed it up again here. You just have to walk along all the way back up here. Once you get up here, then just hang tight. Once this guy leans over the railing, you can then knock him out. Okay, so when you come along to the top of these steps, you want to hug the right side of this pipeline. Be careful, because depending on your playthrough, there could be a guard walking that actually almost seen me. He's walking along. I tried to get his attention up here by pressing the select back button, whatever you like to call it, but he didn't end up hearing me. So I ended up speeding it up again up here, just because if it's on a specific playthrough, they act differently, and this guy happened to just be hanging out. He kept doing his rounds. On a different playthrough, he'll actually end up sitting right with the other guard talking, and you could sleeping gas them. But on this playthrough, I had to wait for him to do his second pass through. Okay, so pick up his body, because the other guard does walk up and down those steps. Just put it down right there. You'll be alright. Okay, so once he's incapacitated, come over here. Be very careful, because on this playthrough where they move about like how they are on mine, there is a guard that moves around on the inside of this building that will see you if you're not careful. He actually almost seen me here. I snuck by that guy, and as I'm going up the pipeline, this dude inside the building almost seen me. That was a close call. Move up the pipeline and to your left here, and once you get onto the roof, you will open up a vent, and once you open up the vent, you will then be able to go into the air duct, and just be careful again. I had a really close call. As soon as I came out of this air duct, this guy was walking up the steps, so I had to really haul ass. So once I came over here, as soon as I hugged the wall, I was smashing the X button, and Sam Fisher ended up knocking this guy out. Okay, so I already collected it, but it's a collectible in that cubicle that I'm looking at. There's a laptop that's there, and you'll be able to hack it. Just in the same fashion I'm doing. It'll be sitting there if you haven't collected it already. Wait for this guy to come on the inside of the building and then turn around, and then you'll be able to hack it, but I already did. So once you're done that, move inside this door. Now, like Sam Fisher says, you're dealing with professionals, so these guys are fully armed. They have shotguns, so you have to do this in a clean manner. They're not wearing any type of gas mask, though. So what I end up doing is using my last sleeping gas here, and I end up knocking both these guys out. I end up running at them really fast because I thought one of them didn't get knocked out, so I was going to go knock him out. But he was knocked out. Okay, so once your guy opens up the door, Okay, so now once you're in this segment, you're going to want to go out the left door first. That's just my personal preference. Go out this left door, go onto the ladder, and wait for this guy to walk into position so that you can lunge him. Once he's incapacitated, make sure you carry him pretty far into this corner right here, because if not, the other guy will pass through and see him, so place him carefully. Make sure to stay out of the light, and jump over this. Now, either playthrough on the first or second, because people are positioned differently, you should be fine to just walk up here and disable this. Nobody will see you. Okay, so once Sam Fisher ends up disabling that, you pretty much have to retrace your steps here. So jump right over that railing, come back down, and pretty much retrace your steps all the way to the ladder. But once you get to the ladder, you want to wait and not sit in the light, though, because this guy ends up trying to fiddle with the door, and he must be some sort of slow, because later on you go right through that door and it's not even locked, so I don't know what's wrong with him. Okay, so climb back up this ladder, and then come back up to this area where we first started in this entire area here, and go out the right door, jump over this railing, move down, and shimmy right along till you get to this pipe. Slide down the pipe, and then you can jump right over the right side of this railing here. Nobody will see you, so don't worry about that. Once jumping down here, maneuver right along these pipes right here. Come up the left stairwell, and you should be fine. Depending on your playthrough, there will be a guy right around this corner, but on this particular playthrough, there wasn't. If there is a guy, just wait it out on the corner till he turns around. Okay, so I think, yeah, here comes this guy. He doesn't actually end up seeing me. He almost does, and I take him out. I carry his body just so that this other guy doesn't end up seeing me. Okay, now that's a heavily armed guard right there. You want to be careful for him, the one that I'm looking at. Be extremely careful. I end up jumping over this railing by accident. Don't do that. This guy won't end up seeing you. He'll be crouched over the railing. Make sure to disable the bomb. Now, on a different playthrough, that guy will actually be, like, analyzing the bomb and everything. Just be patient and take him out, and then you could do everything in the same fashion that I'm doing it. Okay, so I look around this corner. That guard's all the way down there. Don't worry about him. I jump over this railing and then walk up these stairs right here. I hug the right to try and stay out of the light as much as possible. Okay, so I'm trying to find that pipe that I just came down, and I'm like, hey, where is it? I'm like, oh, wait, I don't think I'm close enough, and then I realize I'm not. I'm too far over. Don't worry about that guy. He doesn't see you. Find that pipe, climb back up it, and pretty much retrace your steps again, and go right through this middle cubicle, whatever you'd like to call it. Go back to the left side and come down the ladder. This guy should be in position all over again, which it's a different guy now. It's the guy that was fiddling with the lock. He doesn't end up seeing the other guy if you place him right. And then you can just open up this door that was apparently too challenging for the other guy. And that's the end of the mission, guys. I hope you enjoyed my playthrough. Click the Philly215 watermark in the bottom right hand corner, and that'll take you straight to my channel, guys, where you can check out all my other content, all my other playthroughs. And until next time, guys, it's Philly215. Peace!